Right before the New Year's, everybody was doing some tax loss harvesting, meaning that they were taking losses on any of their investments so that they can reduce their taxes. Now for 2024, we're on the up. Everybody's starting to buy again after the dip. So let's go ahead and dive into what's going on into the markets. The first thing we're gonna cover is obviously what's going on in the market. As you can see, everything is looking really green. Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, literally everything is up. So if you bought any of these, congratulations, you are up. Now the main narratives that people are kind of looking at right now is gonna be Bitcoin and Ethereum, where people are speculating that there's going to be some ETFs. More people are going to be buying Bitcoin and Ethereum through in a proxy way. I mean, they can use their 401k or their stocks in order to do that. They don't actually have to own actual Ethereum. What's going to be really interesting for me to watch is that these companies like Vanguard and BlackRock and whoever wants to do an ETF, they're incentivized by doing marketing for their ETF, meaning that they're saying, hey guys, retail investors or people that have been with us for a long time, invest 10% of your portfolio into Bitcoin and we will take that fee. Of course, there's going to be high fees for these special type of new ETFs in technology. And so people are going to do it because if they think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to go up, well, it doesn't matter if you're getting charged a 1% fee, even though that's kind of ridiculous in the investing world. So that's my personal feeling on how this is going to go. You're going to see a lot of mainstream marketing. You're going to see people on TV and stuff like that talk about why they should have Bitcoin and Ethereum in their portfolio, right? But obviously people are working together to bring up the narrative, which is great for us because for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's probably going to go up and then those profits will probably spill into altcoins. So a lot of people are looking at the layer 1, layer 2 narratives, like for example, oh, Ethereum's too slow, so we got to get into Solana or Cardano or Avalanche, right, which is the competitors. If you believe in Ethereum, people are going to say, oh, you're going to get into Polygon and IMX because those are what's going to scale Ethereum, right? So those are the two big narratives I see that are like super obvious when you're looking at, let's say, like top 10 coins or top 15 coins. And of course, there's a million different narratives like AI, GameFi, which I also think GameFi is going to be really big as well. So many different narratives, depends how your risk tolerance and what you want to do. For most beginners, especially if you're not trying to go too crazy, you know, looking at the top 10, top 50 coins might be your best bet. But if you're trying to get more degen, obviously there's NFTs, new projects, new mints, and things like that. So diving into what's going on in the Web3 space, first thing we got to cover is going to be Mickey Mouse, right? Basically, there has been for intellectual property rights, especially if you're an American business, you can only own a copyright for 95 years. So there's this one with Mickey Mouse, which is Steamboat Willie, the first rendition of Mickey Mouse, which just entered into public domain. I believe Disney has been trying to protect this for a long time, but eventually it went into public domain. So people are using this and creating NFTs, and just think of it as almost like a pump and dump, right? Like a meme coin where it's going to go up, people buy the hype, and then it's going to go down to zero most likely. People are taking advantage of this where they think they can safely use the copyright for an NFT. Of course, you know, 0% creator fees. So either making money on mint or they minted it themselves and now they're selling it to the public. The mint was 0.0015. I don't know the person that created it, but logically speaking, if they did mint 1,000 of their own supply right off the bat because they know exactly when they're going to launch it, then they might have a lot and they can sell them to the market, right? And that's usually how it goes for these kind of things. Now, I'm not saying the person that created this is doing it, but if there's 0% royalties, you got to find ways to make it worth it for themselves, right? There's going to be a lot of other public domain that's going to be available, but I don't think it's going to be as strong as the Steamboat Willie one. I think in order for someone to actually do something better than this, you would have to like remix it or do it in a different way, not just like literally copy and paste a picture, but this takes like 10 minutes to do. But again, if somebody can make, you know, some thousands of dollars doing it, I think they're going to do it. Now, speaking of new projects, there's one that is kind of new right now. It's called NodeMonkes, right? So NodeMonkes is essentially going to be the first 10K PFP Bitcoin, okay? The narrative is it's a cool monkey picture. It's on Bitcoin. It's the first 10K. That's pretty much it. It's selling for 0.135 Bitcoins. And it seems like there is quite a bit of volume, almost 447 Bitcoin in volume, which is actually quite a lot. Now, interesting thing for me, like observing this, is obviously the person that created it has a lot of experience when it comes to launching either meme coins or these NFT projects that are just flash in a pan, right? You know, there's always going to be people that every day, every week, they're just going to be making these quick projects to make money, allow people to speculate on it, and then they're going to make another one next week and next week. And that's typically how it goes for these type of projects. I mean, obviously it's an experienced team. And how do they actually get this project to go all the way to 0.13 Bitcoin? They probably have some strategies. It could be market making the floor, buying it up themselves. It could be very clever Twitter marketing to get everyone to talk about it, getting certain people to talk about it. There's many different ways to slice and dice it. So whenever you see a project just come out of nowhere, just understand that there is always a strategy behind it, even if it's not apparent in the front. So not knocking on this, it's just kind of is what it is. It's hard to say how high it will go. The only way to know is really to know the founders or people who are close to the team to see what they are thinking, right? Now, going into the other side of things where people are trying to do some little bit more of brand building. Zagabond has recently been talking a lot about what's going on with Azuki on Twitter. Obviously, a lot of people in the space, like OG holders or people who have been holding Azuki for a while, you know, maybe they have some comments on ways Azuki can improve, right? And so obviously the team has to do more communications properly to share with people like what they're trying to do. So for the past year or so, Azuki has been dropping a lot of interesting things, but it's not really moving the needle in terms of increasing the overall value of their brand, which a lot of the holders are holding their Azuki for this reason, right? So it kind of feels like everything's kind of random and scattered, and that's the main feedback that I have seen online for Azuki. And so Zagabond, you know, he's kind of sharing like what his plan is. From what I can gather is, one, they're working on a short form animation, not long form. They're not doing a whole season. They're just doing like one, maybe 5 to 6 minute video at a time. They're doing products, right? They probably have a lot of products in the pipeline, probably physical, digital products with NFTs like the Mind of Gus, like the figurine, or clothing with other high-end brands. Because GameFi is gonna be inevitable, they probably have some kind of GameFi strategy. My guess is that they don't plan to build a whole metaverse or like something like huge, right? Like a AAA game. I think they probably want to do more mini games, casual games, or maybe integrate Azuki into other games, because they're not really a gaming company, right? I think the way they market themselves is more like a premium collectibles company. So that's something to keep in mind. And you know, a lot of people might be disappointed by that. If Azuki said, hey, tomorrow we're making a game, yeah, of course, price of an Azuki will go up. Or if they said, hey, if you have an Azuki, you're gonna get Beans token airdropped, right? And the price will go up if they ever said that. But I think they're very careful on what they can and cannot say, and they're trying to hold their cards to their chest. So because of all these other projects going up, a lot of people feel disappointed by that, but maybe that's better for the long term, right? So that's something to consider. Final story of the day is going to be Pixelmon. As you know, Pixelmon is going to be having a token drop, maybe sometime in Q1 2024 or Q2. It's a little bit unclear on exactly the date, but they have a way to market this token before their main game, which is going to be Pixel Pal. So it's a second hyper casual game, meaning it's going to be a very short, simple game. It seems like they're on Mantle. So my guess, they probably got a grant from Mantle to build on top of their game, and Mantle will pay them to do that, and probably in tokens. Okay, so basically you got to level up your pets. There's a prize pool starting at $120,000, which is kind of a bit during this market. So Pixel Pal Pioneer Box will give players a significant head start in the real game when it launches in January 2023. So basically it's a free mint. Supply is 500. It's not an NFT. It's just like an in-game item that will allow you to give you a head start in the game, which gives you a prize of 120,000 USDT. Maybe you get token allocation, maybe you don't. I'm not sure. They never said they would, but I'm sure they have ways to drive marketing for this, right? Yeah, it's going to be another game to do more marketing for their project. So I'm curious to see how it's going to go. And so that's everything we got to cover for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give me a follow on Patrick Dang on Twitter, where I'm going to be dropping the latest news on what's going on. And I will see you in the next one.